everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch with some knitting and crochet thrown in here and there. I want to take a moment here to thank everyone for watching my videos. I've had quite a number of new subscribers in the last month or so, and that's been really exciting for me, and I appreciate all of you, whether you're a new watcher or you've been with me for a while. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me and to see what I've been up to. So here we are. It's basically mid-February. It's Sunday, February 12th here, and it's pretty nice outside for being mid-February in Michigan. My husband said it's about 50 degrees. We're hoping to be able to sneak in a walk this afternoon because it's been quite a while. So I'm going to talk through the projects that I've been working on and then show you something that I have been given. And then I'm off to try to get that walk in. Okay, so February 1st meant we had new WIPGO numbers, and I think I showed them to you last time. Winter Tranquility by Twin Peak Primitives and Halloween Freebie by, I'm not sure, I think I put it in the description box below. So, and it will be again, it's just I can't pronounce the name of it, so it flutters out of my mind. So the first one I'm going to show you is that one, the Halloween Freebie, and it's on this really cool piece of Aida fabric that was supposed to be 18 count, but seems to be about 22 count. And I started it, and my goal for all of my WIPGO projects are 500 stitches. So I just start stitching and I go to town, and I always finish my thread out. So I think on this one I may have gotten 503. And I started along the left hand or the right hand side as always, and I'm working across the bat's wing. So that there is 500 stitches. I was getting about 65 to 69 stitches per strand. So that tells me that this is pretty small. I was going to test out to see if I liked one strand versus two strands. And the morning of the 1st, I completely forgot about that plan, and I just picked it up and I started stitching the way I normally do. So this is with 2 strands of floss, DMC 310. And I don't feel that it's hard to get the stitches in where there's already other stitches. It's going pretty easy. Those are some tiny stinking stitches, but I am loving it. So like I said, this one got about 503 stitches. This is a mystery piece of fabric. I don't know who dyed it. I just know that it was supposed to be 18 count. I could probably ask the stitch shop if they could go back and look, if they have access to go back and look in the receipts to see, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So that was number 1. I got, let's see, I worked on this in the afternoon when I got home, and then I had just a little bit to finish at, when I went to bed. I wasn't quite done with the 500, so I finished up my strand in the morning on the 2nd. I started with this one, which is Winter Tranquility. This one has just about 1,000 stitches in it. Here we go. This is my progress. This is on some kind of random light blue Aida. I know that the color doesn't come through very well, but blue is very hard to capture. So I started with the border because that gave me the point of reference. Then I started stitching the deer. Realized that I did not have the color for the actual deer, just the antlers. And then what happened was I got done with these 2 things. I got done with another project and I didn't know what to start on next. So I just picked this up real quick, and I was able to get about another 400 to 500 stitches. So I put the bottom border in and then continued working on the snow, which this whole entire thing is like full of snow. So it's going to be a while. But I figured anytime that I didn't really know what I was going to work on next, I could pick this up and put in some white because that's simple enough and I don't have to count very much. So I did get extra stitches on this the other day. So the first project that I was working on, paring down my whips, was Halloween Rules. And my goal was to finish the stitching, the actual cross stitching, by the end of January. And then I could do, there was a little tiny bit of back stitching I needed to do, and then put on the buttons. And I was successful. My fingers were flying on the evening of January 31st, but I did get it done. I'm going to try to hold it back to see if I can get it all in frame. I have no idea if I'll be successful on that. But I finished the top portion here. I finished this, and then I think I had to finish this Eat Candy box. And then I had to, let's see, put the spider legs on and then stitch the little face on the ghost. And then I put all the buttons on where they were supposed to go. And this project is complete. I'm going to ask for some help from the Stitch Shop on what they recommend on how to not frame it, but mount it on like mat board, because it's so long that my usual process won't work. So I need a bigger piece of board, and then this one will be ready for Halloween once I get that part done. So I'm so excited. This was stitched with the DMC colors from the charts roundabouts. My explanation, I've talked about that several times. It's on 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed myself. This piece got quite crunchy in the oven. I didn't have it in there quite right, and it got a little warm. So I use the other side that's not as dark because that was pretty dark. Okay, so I got that done, and I moved on to another project on my short list, which was, oops, I have this backwards in my sheet protector. Gathering Honey by Luminous Fiber Arts. And I figured that I could get this done in a week or two, and really it took me 4 days. Now, I will say that one of those days I had taken an extra day off work, so I had like morning stitching. I forgot it and didn't take it with me, so I didn't do lunch. So I did morning and evening stitching on a Thursday, stitched on it on Friday a lot of the day. My husband and I hang out. We went out of town to do an errand and then get some lunch, and then got home and worked on it some more, and then my usual Saturday and Sunday stitching, and I was done. Now, I do realize now that I forgot the to backstitch the antenna on the bee. So I did finish this in 4 days. So I had the complete bee skep done and about half of the border, and that was it. And I did all the rest of it. But I do have to, up here, he needs some antenna. So I just have to do that. And this is 28 count Monaco, just white. And then I did get this is stitched with Silken Colors, Toasted Marshmallow, 255. And I got two skeins, but all of these two strands, it's actually one strand and then a little bit, was from the first skein. So this is a couple dollars. It's quite a bit more than DMC, but I will say that if you want to do one of her gathering, out of her gathering series, it's not that much. So you would buy one skein of Silken Colors, or it calls for 2 Belsois, 2 skeins of Belsois. So that would be something where if you wanted to venture out a little bit and do something with silk or test it out and see how you like it, it is very smooth and enjoyable to work with. I will say that. It does not knot as much as DMC or other cotton threads, especially overdyes. I find overdyes, for me anyway, knot quite a bit. And, but the Silken Colors silk did not knot that much. That was a crazy sentence because of the redundancy of the words, but it made sense, right? The silk didn't knot. There we go. Okay, so that means I have 4 complete finishes, well, besides the little tiny back stitching, 4 complete finishes, and then Weimaraner still needs its back stitching. I'm procrastinating like crazy on that because I just don't want to do it. I will do it eventually. I just don't want to. So I picked up another project. This one was not on my short list, but I figured that there's block stitching in it and I could fly through it. So I think I picked this up on Monday. What Monday would have been the 6th, 5th? I don't know. So this is Sweet to the Soul by Joyful Expressions. Of course, it'll be in the description box below. This is using 14 count, I think, natural Aida that I got from somewhere. And a bunch of DMC colors. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the definition of all of the little honeycombs because some of them are really close in color. But I have more than doubled the amount of stitching that's on this, and I've been working on it for a week. So that's pretty cool. This word soul was not there. I put that in the other day. I figured that if I do 6 honeycombs in a day, I have 62 left. So I'll get done in just over 10 days just with the honeycomb. I could very well, maybe, possibly have this one done by the end of the month. So then I will have 5 finishes for the year, and then Weimaraner will be almost a 6th. So that's pretty cool too. So I'll hold it back here so you can see it. So there's a lot of honeycomb up in the top in the right corner. But still, I think I can pull it off. So we'll see. I do feel myself kind of getting bored. But I've already put in 10 blocks today, 10 pieces. So if I keep going with that today, then maybe we'll see. We'll see. But I do find myself getting bored of it already just because it's so repetitive and you're doing the same thing over and over and over, but that's kind of how it makes it fast at the same time. So it's a double-edged sword there. You're going to get bored. I did pick up another skein of 3820 from DMC. The last time I worked on this, I found that I had bought the wrong color. I bought 3826, which was way too dark. So I did pick this up the other day because by doing some quick math, I didn't think the skein that I found in my stash was going to be enough. So I do have that as backup just in case. Okay, so that's all of the stitching I've done. So the plan for the rest of the month is to try to finish Sweet to the Soul, but I also have 880 stitches to do for the Michigan Cross Stitch Travel the USA Challenge on Lady of the Flag. So Sweet to the Soul and Lady of the Flag for the rest of the month, and see if I can get that 5th finish and complete my 2nd month in a row for, well, not in a row, but for this year. Okay, so that's my stitching plans for the week. Now for the gift I was given. Okay, so I was given all kinds, this is gonna make some noise, just to warn you. I was given a huge pile of knitting needles. And this isn't quite all of them. There's some circulars and some DPNs down there. But this entire set of knitting needles. My friend from high school dropped them off for me along with this entire stack of knitting books. Because she doesn't knit, she crochets. And this one, this was the last one I took out of the bag. It's a work basket. I remember my grandma having these back in the day when I was growing up. And I don't know if there's anything in here that I will stitch, but my daughter is into vintage. So I'm hoping that maybe, like, I think she might like this one, this sweater here. Just looking at the covers. Oh, here's a red heart for kids. I don't, you know, like these ones, definitely not my style, but she might like the vest here on this one. Let's see. Ooh, she might like the cardigan. Ooh, that's a really cool one. My husband probably won't wear sweaters because he gets too hot. Oh, there's some cool vintagey, like, look at this vest here. I don't know what size it's in, but There's some really cool things in here, I think, that are just on the edge of being classic but vintage, so that, you know, they still kind of, these probably will not be knit by me, but it's still pretty neat. And the cool thing is, like, okay, so like this one here, if you like the style of the cardigan, but you don't want the bears, then you just don't stitch the bears and you just stitch it straight with whatever color you choose for your color. And then you have a very nice cardigan. So saying that I'm not going to stitch it doesn't mean that I won't, you know, that I won't like the pattern. It's just I'm not going to stitch the animals. I won't stitch the animals. Oh, this is a fancy baby blanket set. And there's another pattern in here too. There's other patterns, but more baby blankets. I know baby blankets were huge. My grandma made lots of those. Oh, more like fisherman sweaters from Bernat. This person must have really liked to knit sweaters, because most of these, this book needs some help. I don't know. I think I got 2 books. But this one, they do what I do. I make tally marks. But this book, I don't even know if I have all of it, because I got the back. But that's okay. These ones are not my style either. Definitely not. But that's okay. Blankets. More blankets. Oh, this one's kind of cute. The way that they do the stitching on this one and this one both, it looks like little like bears or bunnies or something. Teddy bears. And kittens, it says. Oh my gosh, dog sweaters. I don't really believe in sweaters for pets, but I do like this one with the bones on it. I like the shape, and then the shape of this blue one. And I don't know if there's any more in there or not, but hopefully that will help with the next sweater I'm going to make a friend at work. Oh, you can make furry novelties, it says. I will not be making furry novelties. Just the thought of touching that white bunny creeps me out. But anywho. This is book number 224, Woolies for Babies. It says Chadwick's Red Heart Wools. And this book was 10 cents. Let's see real quick if there's a date. I don't find a date. Copyright 1945. There's got to be something good in there. But it's for babies, though. My daughter is not a baby anymore, so she won't fit these things. And I don't really know how to scale stuff up. Okay, here's a 1 page of something, and oh yeah, it's just one of those that you take from the store, so all of it should be on here. But that's not my style either. Okay. Let's see. More kind of classic 1980s sweaters. This one's kind of cool. I love it looks really soft. I have no idea what it's made out of. And of course it doesn't have a name, it has a number. Let's see what it's made out of. Bernat Sweetie. I've never heard of that. It's probably long gone by now. Cute little crop tops, which are very in style right now. Crop top sweaters. It looks so easy. 1982. But they're in style. If you go on to Ravelry, you're going to find all kinds of crop tops. Another Bernat. Yes, whoever owned these definitely liked sweater knitting. I don't know what that is. An Afghan, which has no picture. Oh my. Best in Vests. This was 50 cents, volume 197. in 50 cents in the US, 75 cents in Canada, and $1 other countries, but I do not offhand see a date. So that's pretty interesting. Well, there is a little thing down here. It says 9/69. So this could be from 1969. I don't know. It doesn't really say, but that is very interesting. I kind of like the look of this one, but they're kind of long, and I have a short body, so it depends on if it was worked. Like even this green one, I kind of like the green one, but if it was knit from the bottom up, I would really, really have to think, like really process, like, okay, where am I, what part am I going to cut out to make it shorter to fit my body? That's it. So lots of knitting needles and lots of sweater and Afghan patterns, and they will go into my stash, and I will happily look through them and see if there's anything that I will make in the future. I'll have my daughter look through them, see if anything catches her eye, because I have this sweater quantity here, and I'm not sure if it will be appropriate for some of the other patterns that we had previously picked out. But we did find, and just to catch you up on this story, she had come out of her room with a picture on her phone of a Taylor Swift cardigan. Taylor Swift has a huge merchandise shop. And she says, the sweater's $85. Can you make me this? Yes. And of course, it was all sold out, so she couldn't even get one. And now if she could get one, it's going to be either used, which is fine. But the Taylor Swift's items, to get them on secondhand market, the price is insane on almost anything of hers. So, okay, yeah, the original $85 wasn't horrible, but it might cost me that much to get yarn. But it was a very specific, it was a cardigan with buttons. It was the V-neck style, and it had cables on it. And she wanted one that could replicate that as much as possible. And I was having a really hard time finding something. Well, last week or the week before, I don't know how I came across it. Is just by happenstance, I suppose. I said, oh, that sweater looks interesting. And it was a cardigan. I said, let me go to the website. And I was looking at all their free cardigans. And I came across one that had big fat cables, and it was just an easy 5-stitch cable. And however, it was crop, like really cropped. And it had this weird like collar, and it was straight up here. It was not V-neck, it was like square neck all the way up. And I don't know if that's the right term for it. I don't know a lot of terms for clothing. So I said, well, maybe we could cut that out, and then it would just be the, the square up here. But then I kept scrolling, and I found one that was the exact shape that she wanted. And it was kind of like a basket weave pattern. But I said, I don't see any reason why we can't take the cable pattern and put it in that one. So the basket weave pattern is a bottom up. And I said, oh my gosh, that would be super easy. Because you would start the cables at the bottom, or, you would do the ribbing and then start the cables. And then when you come up to the lapels, or the button band up here, then you would just end the cables where it was natural to end them because of the decreasing to make that V. And she says, well, if you want to try. And I said, well, maybe I should try with a sweater quantity of yarn, for myself, like go find some sweater quantity and test one out, because we're both basically the same size. So if I tested it out on me to see how difficult it was, then I would know if I was going to make her one and test it out with yarn and all that kind of good thing. So we are getting closer and closer to this sweater saga coming to an end, because I found the two patterns. They were free. I'm going to combine them, both the stitch pattern from the cables with the design elements of, the structure, I suppose you would say, of the other sweater. And I'm super excited about that. Now we just need to find yarn and decide if I'm going to do a test or if I'm just going to get the color, because she wants cream, and just go with it. So I don't have any cream. I just need to go find some. So stay tuned for the continuation of the sweater saga because it's coming. So anyways, that is all now that I have to share with you for today. I will be back, I believe, on, it would be the last Sunday of the month. What is that maybe the 26th or the 25th? I think 26th, I think. So I'll be back then to share with you how far I was able to get on Sweet to the Soul and if I was able to complete the challenge on Lady of the Flag. I did find that I left out a whole bunch of the blues for the blue part of the flag the last time I shopped for that project. So I did grab 2 that I knew offhand, like off the top of my head, that I needed. But we'll see how far I can get. So you stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe, hit the all notification button, and so that way you know when to come back and see the continuation of these projects. Okay? Until next Sunday. Bye.